Hey folks, I'm Rob Franek, Editor-in-Chief here at the Princeton Review. If you've been watching our series on COVID-19 and its repercussion on higher education, you will know that over the last 2 weeks we've been focusing these segments specifically on high school students who are college bound. But today is our first in a continuing series of segments appropriate for graduate school bound and certainly professional school bound students as well. So today we are answering questions that are big, and the first question that are coming up is, what about taking the graduate record exam, the GRE, at home? Folks, you know this as well as I. If you are registered already for the GRE to take it at a testing center, all of those dates moving forward, at least in the near future, have been canceled. But ETS, who creates the GRE, announced on March 27th that it will allow an at-home option. And that is a welcome development, but it's not without its minor challenges. One of the first challenges comes from requirements themselves. When you register on the ETS website, there is no specific checklist of the requirements that you as a student taking that at-home experience of the GRE need to have. But it's expected that you'll have a working knowledge of those requirements come test day. So enter the Princeton Review with this video. We're going to walk through the different requirements in the two different cues that there are available on the GRE. Number one, tech requirements. First and foremost, folks, you need to take the GRE at-home experience on a desktop or a laptop. That means no tablets and no phones. Number two, you must take it on a PC that has Windows 7, 8, or 10. Folks, that means no Macs allowed. So if you don't have a PC with Windows, the GRE at-home experience is probably not going to be the one for you. Number three, you need to have a speaker, microphone, and camera. Now those can be internal or external, it matters not, but what you may not have is any headset on with any of those features. You need to be able to move that camera around, and it could be the camera that's built in on your laptop, that doesn't make any difference. Move that camera around so that your remote proctor, who will be with you the entire exam, can see your desktop or the area around your workspace where you're going to be taking that GRE at home online. Now, that wraps up technical requirements. On to the more important general requirements. Number one, you need to be alone in a well-lit room. That means no interruptions. You cannot take the GRE in any public space. You cannot have anybody walk into your room while you're in the testing center. So it's best to be in a private room with the door closed. Anybody else in your house or your office should know that you're taking the exam at that time. Number two, you must take the GRE at a desk or a table. Now desk or a table, that's clear enough, free of any obstruction, but here's the thing, you need to have a simple office chair or a kitchen chair. Those are the only two things acceptable, pardon me. You cannot take it on a sofa, you cannot take it on an overstuffed chair, you cannot take it on your bed, and you certainly cannot take it on the floor. Number three, you must clear your work area, that desk, of any unapproved items. That means that no food or no drinks are not allowed on into the environment. Now that's very similar to the testing center environment that you'd be taking if you were taking it in a normal testing center. But again, those same things hold true for the at-home experience. Number four, you must dress appropriately. Remember that there'll be a computer-generated photo of you that will go along with your test results to every school to which you apply in the future. Also, your ears must be visible and can have no other accessories on them, including any jewelry. So again, keeping that in mind. Number five, now this is an important one as well, there's no scratch paper allowed at the at-home experience on the GRE. What you may use is a small whiteboard. You can also use a plastic transparency, stuff that would be normally found in binders. You could put one sheet of white paper in that plastic transparency and then use a dry erase marker, whether for your whiteboard or for that transparency. You can have a couple of tissues with you to wipe down the whiteboard or the transparency throughout the exam. Folks, important to note, I know this is a lot of information coming at you at the same time. Please know that we have this full checklist on the item description in this very video on the GRE at home. So please know that you can access that at any time. Now, moving on. Once you have this set up, you must register with ETS. And when you register, you must choose the at home option. It's important to note that the at-home option as well as the testing center option is the same fee, so nothing changes there. Once you register, once you pay your fee, then you'll receive an email directly from ProctorU. Now that's Proctor in the letter U, and that is the remote proctoring service that ETS has engaged to be with you throughout your online experience for the GRE. You at that time choose your date and the time that you want to take that exam. And it's important to note that if you have requested any special accommodation, ETS has been very clear that no accommodations will be available to you, any special accommodations will be available to you in the at-home environment. Now, this is a word of caution. If you've already received and been accepted to have an accommodation for the GRE experience before this COVID-19 time, then we'd suggest reaching out directly to ETS to discuss that with them. Now, once your date and time is set, you will start your session. Be sure to be in that environment, your workspace, in advance. Make sure that your workspace is clear. Make sure that you have your whiteboard or your transparencies with you. Make sure that you have your dry erase marker. In addition to that, you must have your ID. You must have your cell phone handy as well, because you'll need to show the proctor where that cell phone is when they check you in for registration. Now, it's important to note also that if you have a home office or if you're in any room that has a bookshelf behind you with books on it, that's perfectly fine. You just have to have that clear and unobstructed workspace other than the few approved items that we had talked about. Once you're registering with the remote proctor, you'll need to be very clear that on your computer that you've turned off all notifications, you've turned off other computer programs that are running at the same time. You must be using the Chrome platform to access the proctor.edu, ProctorU website. This whole check-in process will take at least 10 minutes, and you have to allow the remote proctor to record the entire experience, registration as well as your testing experience. At that time, you will then be matched with your remote proctor online. Now, folks, it's important to mention that they will see and hear you the entire time of this exam, but you will not see and or hear them. The only way that you can communicate, and they will communicate with you, is through the chat feature on the platform. And again, they will see you through the entire test, and they'll use that camera, and they'll ask you to show on that camera your desktop or your removable camera, to show your desktop to make sure that it has nothing on it other than those approved items. At that time, they'll also ask you to take your cell phone and put it away out of reach, that you cannot reach it for the rest of the exam. At that time, the proctor from ProctorU, the remote proctor, will take control of your computer. They will download special software from the ETS website. They will log in for you, and that will be your specific exam, and then they will relinquish the controls back to you at that time. Now, again, this all might seem like a lot of information, but it's important to note the experience on the exam, whether it's in a testing center online or at home online, it is the identical test. The only real difference are the things that we've highlighted, and that you can only move from your seat for a 10-minute break. Other than that, once you take your exam and once you've completed it, you go back into the chat feature, and then you notify your remote proctor that you're done. They have a couple things to close up on there, and essentially it is an apples to apples test from the testing center to the at-home center. Now, I'm just going to end with this. We have gotten a lot of questions from prospective GRE takers, and this is the question. They are worried very specifically about taking the GRE at home and the way it will be treated through admission office's lens over the next year or years. And folks, here's the thing. There's no indication from ETS that your administration was done at a testing center or online at home. Now, that said, there are a couple of telltale signs here. As I said before, the picture that they will generate with you will likely be a clear indication that you took it at an at-home environment. But again, the tests themselves are identical. And again, we work with so many grad and professional schools at the Princeton Review, and every indication that we've heard directly from them, and of course the assurances that we've gotten from ETS, is that they will be treated exactly the same. Folks, I'm Rob Franek. I'm Editor-in-Chief here at the Princeton Review. I'm hoping that this video was helpful. If there are other questions that you want us to answer for you for GRE specific or grad school specific issues, please do reach out to us here on our YouTube channel, or of course our many social channels. Again, Rob Franek, Editor-in-Chief, signing off. Thanks so much.